exciting edition of Sports Extraordinary Weekend Edition here on Atlantic Television Network. What a busy weekend in the world of sports. I can tell you there's been rumble in the world of boxing. Beyond that, the FIFA Women World Cup is into its quarter-final stage this weekend. We'll take a look at it as well. And don't forget, after a long break, there's return of top-level football in Europe, starting in England, where the Community Shield is a major feature this weekend. We'll take a look at it and many more on the program Sports Extraordinary this weekend. When we return from the break, you have a lot on your plate. Stay with us.
Greenwood's went for goal. Goalkeeper missed it. Fight Wembley. Does a right hand and down goes people straight away. Oh, what a point to end it on. So now this is when they're at their best. And it's when they're 12 years for this. So drink it in. Still goes to Andre. What he loves to be immortality as an athlete. 19.79. It's a goal. It's 8 goals.
the winner of the Premier League. Manchester City won the FA Cup, won the Premier League, and so it has to be the first place team in the Premier League and the second place team in the Premier League.
Yeah, it promises to be an exciting one this weekend. Manchester City against Arsenal once again this time around, and everybody just looking forward to Arsenal to put up that revenge, because City stole the title away from them, if I should put it that way, last season. And it was very frustrating for Arsenal to be top of the table for many months. At the end of the day, they couldn't lay their hands on the title. They really wanted to lay their hands at this point in time. It's really going to be an interesting encounter. And talking about Arsenal, they really look very optimistic ahead of the coming season at the moment, because if you take a look at what they've been able to do, Mikel Arteta has been able to add more players to the players already in the camp of Arsenal Football Club. They've been able to get Declan Rice for a very huge amount of money, and not only Declan Rice alone, they've gotten the likes of Kai Havertz, and also they've gotten Juran Timber as well. These are players that Arsenal they've been able to put up in their squad, just to boost their strength ahead of the coming season as it stands. So for me, taking a look at what we're seeing at the moment, I think Arsenal are very much ready. 60 are not also letting things down. They've gotten the likes of Matthew Kovacic as well, Vardio, who is a centre back at the moment. So you take a look at what is happening at Manchester City. Despite some of their players leaving, they've been able to actually strengthen some areas they might be having lapses ahead of the coming season at this point in time. So talking about the Community Shield, it's going to be an interesting one to watch it for, and I think Mikel Arteta and his men will be really looking forward, of course, to put up a revenge in this one. Might not really means a whole lot for City, because treble winners last season, probably they might be fighting just to defend the titles they won last time. But I think for me, Arsenal really need this one at this point in time, especially just to put up that revenge from what happened last season.
Arsenal needs it because of the way Manchester City toppled them from the top of the league after staying on top of the league for several weeks, leading up to just about 8 games or so to the end of the season when they capitulated. But still looking at this result, I hope we can have you join us any moment soon. Looking at the 101st edition of the Community Shield, it is like a cutting razor in football, Premier League football in England. And looking at the preseason, these two teams have been busy. We know that Manchester City has been in South Korea and in Japan, preparing for the season. Arsenal have been in they have been in Germany. They have been in the United States of America, preparing as well for the season. What do you how will you rate their level of preparation? We've seen Arsenal, beat Barcelona, in course of the season. We've seen them beat Monaco to win in the Emirates Cup. They beat the All-Stars team, if you remember. The only team that beat them in this preseason is Manchester United. But for Manchester City in South Korea and Japan, they lost a couple of just about 2 of their preseason games.
Yeah, for me, from what we've seen from both teams, when it comes to their preseason matches, I think Arsenal they've done well. Just like you mentioned, they only lost to Manchester United. We saw the game against FC Barcelona. They really took it very serious, despite Barcelona manager Xavi coming up to say that they were just playing preseason, not really a final game. But they really took the game very serious, and they were able to deal with Barcelona, which we know that of course they are very formidable down there in the Spanish La Liga. They might be coming up as well this season. But Arsenal, taking a look at the preseason games they've played, they've been able to show resilience and intent, and looking very much optimistic to fight ahead of the coming season as it stands. Just like I mentioned, the way Mikel Arteta has gone about to set up his team this time around, it means they really mean something this coming season. For them to put up that huge amount of money, about £105 million, to get Declan Rice, it means Arsenal really mean business, this time around. And getting the likes of Kai Havertz and Juran Timber, of course, just to put the team together. You take a look at all of these things they've been able to do. I think from what happened last season, they're looking forward to build, not actually from both preseasons that we've seen. I think Arsenal, they've really done well. City actually lost one of their preseason as well, and that was against Atletico Madrid. It was really a tough encounter. But from what we've seen so far, I think Arsenal, they've done well in the preseason. City have not really done very bad, but I think for me, City do not. From what we're seeing them now, what they've been able to do, they might not be taking all this game, that very much. They have a whole lot to defend when the season, start. They have the English Premier League title to defend, the FA Cup, the Champions League. So they want to probably rest some of their players and then tend to put more fire when the league gets started. But for me, I think both teams have done very well in the preseason, and tomorrow, the cutting result this weekend might probably, of course, give us much intent of what we should be looking at for both teams come and the coming season.
Manchester City doesn't get to start very well, at the beginning of the season, but they know how to end well in the course of the season. So we'll keep our eyes and see. Definitely this weekend, 4 p.m. on Sunday, we'll see the match between City and Arsenal in the 101st edition of the Community Shield. But let's still look at how prepared this team, fitness level. We've seen them play preseason games. But let's look at the actors, the players themselves. We've seen the exit of Angel Gundogan from Manchester City. You remember Riyad Mahrez joined the Saudi Arabian side. We saw Gundogan going to FC Barcelona, and we are told that Bernard Silva, Kyle Walker, and of course, I think Kevin Phillips, too, will be leaving any moment soon. But for Arsenal, we didn't see plenty of movement. We saw quality addition in Declan Rice. Of course, you remember what's his name now, Timber joining the team,
Timber,
and joining the team as well. Then they were able to bring Kai Havertz, which looks like a man who is ready to rediscover himself in the Premiership with play. you.